Hello out there everyone, and welcome to our latest video of Amanda Gets Excited About Books. Welcome to this video series. If you're brand new, welcome back if you've been watching. As always, I'm Amanda. I'm the assistant director here at the Nevada Public Library, and I have a box of brand new books to open up and to show off to all of you and to get super excited about, because new books are always super exciting. Please do sign into our catalog and place a hold on anything you see in this box that you know you want to read. Those items are in the catalog right now, so you can place a hold on them right now, and as soon as they're ready, we'll get them ready for you. Also, please do take advantage of the book lists option that's on the right-hand side of the main page of the catalog. Look for unboxing, video, whatever the newest video is. You'll see a list of everything that's in this box, and you can place holds right from there. It's super convenient and it's super handy. I'm going to dive right in because this box is hefty. There's a lot here to go through. I'm going to be super quick, give you just short little blurbs about each one, so hopefully you will see some things that you're excited about without this video getting overly long. I'm sure to be excited about something that's in here, so let's get started and let's see what we've got. Our first title is The Nature of Fragile Things by Susan Meissner. And this is the intertwined lives of three women leading up to a devastating earthquake in 1906 in San Francisco. And the fates of these women intertwine, thrusting them into a perilous journey that will test their resiliency and resolve, and ultimately their belief that love can overcome fear. So this sounds awesome, a good historical story about the way lives intertwine and connect. Up next, we have Our Italian Summer by Jennifer Probst, and this is sure to tickle your fancy if you like to travel and you're wishing you could right now and are sad that you can't. This is a family, 3 generations of women in the Ferrari family who need to heal the broken pieces of their lives on a trip of a lifetime through Italy. So this sounds great. This sounds like it's sure to be a good family story. There's sure to be a lot with all of these women in this family and what they're encountering and going through this trip through Italy. Next up is Girls with Bright Futures. This is by Tracy Dobmeyer and Wendy Katzman, and this sounds like an awesome one. College admission season in Seattle is marked by glowing acceptances from top-tier institutions and students as impressive as their parents are ambitious. And so we start getting into some mothers and what they're trying to do to secure their daughter's future, to secure their scholarships and their getting into schools, and the secrets that they're trying to bury that might threaten to destroy more than just college dreams. This is sure to be all kinds of crazy and awesome and a super good read. I definitely want to take a look at this one. I recommend you do as well. Oh goodness, I know I'm on hold for this one. I know this one sounded super awesome and up my alley. This is The X Talk by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This is a bit of an enemies to lovers story, which I'm always a fan of. We have a producer at a Seattle public radio station, and she's been clashing with one of her co-workers recently, and they're starting a new show on the radio called The X Talk. The idea is that 2 exes will deliver relationship advice live on the air. The boss decides that these 2 should work together for this show, even though they're not technically exes, but their animosity really comes through in that way. So of course they're trying to get this show off the ground, and the deception keeps growing, and then they might start to fall for each other. Sure to be an excellent, great read. Don't miss The X Talk. Next is The Shadow Box by Luann Rice. This also sounds awesome if you like a good twisty thriller. We have an artist who is attacked and left for dead in her home in Connecticut, and she doesn't know who she can trust, but she suspects, or her husband is the prime suspect, and he is running for governor. So we've got all kinds of crazy stuff of who attacked her and why, and her husband's political career coming up in all of this as well. Definitely one to take a look at, definitely one to enjoy a good mystery. Next is one that I definitely want to take a look at. This is We Need to Hang Out by Billy Baker. This is a memoir of making friends, and this strikes a chord with me even though I'm not quite the age of the author when he started writing this. But he reached a point in his life where he's, got his family and he's got his job, and he's kind of lost touch with all of his friends. And then he embarks on a quest to reconnect with his friends and to make friends and to, you know, reach out to people. And so this is a little bit about how that happened and what the results were. And it sounds great, and it sounds like something that we can all enjoy reading and find good ways to reach out to the people we may have lost touch with. I want to read this just for the beautiful cover. Look at that, it's just incredible. This is Fireheart Tiger. This is by Aliette de Bodard. And this is, you can see, a nice slim little novella, so a quick read if you're looking for something short but sure to be good. Got a little bit of fantasy happening here. We have a princess who was sent away as a hostage to a powerful faraway country, and now she's returned, haunted by memories of her first romance, but also by worrying magical echoes of a fire that destroyed the royal palace. So there's going to be all kinds of crazy stuff happening, you know, short book, but I bet there's a lot going on. Definitely one to take a look at. I know I want to read this. Pretty sure this is another one that I'm excited to read, if this is the one I think it is. This is Possession by Katie Lowe. And this is a psychological thriller, so right there you've ticked a box for me. 10 years ago, Hannah's husband was brutally murdered, and she conveniently doesn't remember a thing about the night. The police charged someone else, and Hannah's life has moved on, but now a true crime podcast is digging into the case and trying to see what's really happening with Hannah and her family and what happened the night of her husband's murder. Sure to be a hard to put down book, one to, you know, maybe read in one sitting. Definitely one that I want to take a look at. Do not miss Possession. Up next, we've got one with a bit more heft if you're looking for a good fantasy and you want to really dive in. This is The Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick. This is the start of a Rook and Rose trilogy. Fortune favors the bold, but magic favors the liars. We have a con artist who's come to the city with a goal to trick her way into a noble house, securing her fortune and her sister's future, but her masquerade is one of many, and as corrupt nightmare magic begins to weave its way through the city of dreams, the poisonous feuds of its nobility and the shadowy dangers of its impoverished underbelly become entangled, with our main character at the heart. Sure to be good. It's the start of a trilogy, so definitely one to dive into if you want more to look forward to in the future. Don't miss The Mask of Mirrors. Next, we have Sorrow and Bliss by Meg Mason. This is an adult coming-of-age novel told with force, breathlessness, and a confessional style that makes you feel as if you're sharing intimacies with a close friend. This sounds super awesome. We've got a woman who just turned 40. She once worked at Vogue and planned to write a novel. Now she creates internet content. But there's something wrong with her, and there has been for a long time. When she was 17, a little bomb went off in her brain, and she was never the same. Countless doctors, endless therapy, and every kind of drug later, she still doesn't know what's wrong. And she spends some days unable to get out of bed and alienates strangers and loved ones with her casually cruel remarks. So she ends up going home to a tragic and kind of troubled home where she grew up, and she's trying to start over, and this is sure to be a good book club discussion book. This is sure to be a good read for this woman and her struggles in her life and just trying to pick up the pieces and see what's going on. Do not miss Sorrow and Bliss. This one looks like an awesome one to take a look at. This is Bookish Broads, Women Who Wrote Themselves into History by Lauren Marino. This is a colorful, illustrated celebration of literary history's female trailblazers. And so we've got just a little bit of, you know, some highlighting a whole lot of different women who have done incredibly great things for the world of literature. Everyone from, you know, Jane Austen onwards, before, all over, you know, I see Willa Cather, Edith Wharton, also George Eliot, Mary Shelley. So, you know, you're going through the list of a lot of big names, a lot of incredible people, and just a little bit about each of them and about what they've brought to the world of literature. Definitely one to take a look at. Our next title is The Other Mother by Matthew Dix. This is one I'm definitely interested in. I read his 21 Truths About Love and I adored it, so this should be a fun one to take a look at. We have 13-year-old Michael, who's dealing with a lot: his father's sudden death, his mother's new husband, his younger siblings, who he has to look after now that his mother is working more shifts. But then one day Michael wakes up and his mother is gone, and in her place is an exact duplicate mother, the other mother. No one else seems to notice that his real mother is missing. Everyone else thinks everything is normal, but Michael knows in his heart that this mother is not his, and he begins to panic. What's going on with that? Who is this other mother? Definitely one to take a look at. Sure to be an awesome read. Up next, we have In the Garden of Spite by Camilla Bruce. This also sounds awesome. This is a novel of feminine rage and one of the most prolific female serial killers in American history, as well as the men who drove her to do it. So this is definitely taking a look at someone you don't hear or see a lot about. We see a lot more male serial killers, so diving into this woman and what happened in her life and why she became a serial killer is sure to be an awesome, awesome read. Do not miss In the Garden of Spite. Next, we have West with Giraffes by Linda Rutledge. And this is an emotional, rousing novel inspired by the incredible true story of two giraffes who made headlines and won the hearts of Depression-era America. It's part adventure, part historical saga, and part coming-of-age love story. This sounds super awesome. We see some things inspired by true events. It weaves real-life figures and fictional ones together, including the world's first female zoo director, a crusty old man with a past, a young female photographer with a secret, and assorted reprobates with as spotty as the giraffes. So definitely one to take a look at if you enjoy some fiction inspired by true events and historical tales and giraffes. And who doesn't love a giraffe? Next, we have The Ballad of Hattie Taylor. This is by Susan Anderson, and this is a historical romance set around the turn of the century in Oregon, with a new kind of frontier for women, a vast and exciting range of possibilities up to a point, and we have free-spirited outsider Hattie Taylor and her will they, won't they love story with a certain gentleman and her experiences through the early years of female emancipation and kind of coming into her own as a woman as women's lives begin to change dramatically. The Love Square by Laura Jane Williams is our next title, and this is another one that sounds like an awesome romance if you're looking for a good, somewhat lighter book to curl up with today. We have a main character named Penny who's single, but it can still be complicated. She's always been unlucky in love, but a change in circumstances sees her stepping into a new life in a new town, where the last thing she expects is to meet a remarkable man, followed by another, and then another, and all of them want to date her. She has to choose between the three, but will any of them be the one? So definitely a good one to take a look at, one that sounds like a fun read to curl up with. Send for Me by Lauren Fox is next, and this is a historical fiction novel that moves between Germany on the eve of World War II and present-day Wisconsin, unspooling a thread of love, longing, and the powerful bonds of family. So we have a woman who finds a trove of her great-grandmother's letters from Germany near World War II, and she discovers some things about her family history, and she's forced to come to a decision based on what she finds. This sounds awesome. This sounds like a great read. Definitely one to pick up. Don't miss Send for Me. Next, we have We Run the Tides, and this is by Vendela Vida. And this is a story of female friendship, betrayal, and a mysterious disappearance set in the changing landscape of San Francisco. So this already sounds awesome. Mysterious disappearance, you've got me interested there. So definitely one to take a look at. Don't miss We Run the Tides. And we made it to our final book in this hefty, huge box. Our final book is How Not to Die Alone. I love this title. The surprising science that will help you find love. And this sounds also like a really interesting nonfiction book to pick up. Have you ever looked around and wondered, why has everyone found love except me? You're not the only one. So this looks at how great relationships don't just appear and sort of ways to you know, ways to get yourself out there, ways that we all might get in our own way when it comes to forming meaningful relationships with other people. Though it certainly addresses love, I imagine that these same principles can be applied to family and friends and any number of relationships in our lives to make sure that we do not, in fact, die alone. So definitely one to take a look at. Whew. Thank you so much for sticking with me. There was quite a lot in this box. I hope you're really excited about some of these titles. I know I am. As always, please put yourself on hold for the ones you want to read so we can get those ready for you as soon as possible. And I will see you the next time we get more big boxes of books in and I can show them off to you then.